Palantir have once again asserted their dominance and proved their strength, beating 199 other competitors to win the VA Tech Sprint. The Veterans Affairs Artificial Intelligence Tech Sprint is a competition organised by the Department of Veterans Affairs, targeting the development of AI solutions to address burnout among healthcare workers. The main goal is to reduce the admin workload of healthcare workers, which is significantly a contributor to burnout. The focus is on developing AI tools that can help automate note-taking during medical appointments and integrate patients' medical records efficiently. Palantir released a video showing a whole use case of this, which I'll leave linked in the description below if you want to go ahead and watch that video. But basically, they beat 199 other competitors and they won a $1 million prize money reward. Now, $1 million isn't really going to do that much for Palantir at this stage, but it was more the fact that they came out, they competed, and they asserted their dominance in the AI field, and they won this competition. Now we need to talk about an interview that a Jefferies analyst recently did about Palantir. There's a lot of things in this interview that I absolutely agree with, and some things that personally I just don't agree with. He said that right now the valuation is holding them back from Palantir, and that Palantir stock is the single most expensive name in their coverage. The first question posed to this analyst during this interview was this whole idea that Palantir shares are up by like 40% this year so far, and what's their current take on this position? This was his answer. Take a listen.
Fundamentals are obviously improving at Palantir. What holds us back right now is valuation. It's the single most expensive name in our coverage universe. So great companies with great momentum sometimes look expensive.
Okay, sometimes intrinsic value and stock price don't always align and they don't always match up. This was proven significantly with Nvidia. Loads of people thought that Nvidia stock price was way too high and there was no way that they should buy it. It appeared really expensive, but we saw that this could still be a good buy. Let's continue.
Obviously believe the opportunity set is enormous for Palantir and AI, but we believe there's going to be better entry points for the stock. The fundamentals, they've done a really nice job. You know, the beginning of last year, for basically 75% of the year, they didn't produce anything. And then in Q4, things started to turn. They really cleaned up all the bad execution last year in Q4.
Okay, so he's just said that the fundamentals have been doing really, really well. And I couldn't agree more with that. You know, we've seen a massive change happen in Palantir, in their fundamentals. And this has happened due to the launch of AIP and the way that they've been marketing and the way that they've been executing their sales cycle. The profitability has been doing really well. They're eligible for S&P 500 inclusion. You know, the numbers, the fundamentals are looking really, really strong compared to what they have been in the past. He's right, there has been a really big change regarding there being a better entry price point. To be honest, for me, I can't really be bothered and I don't really want to try to time the market, to time the perfect entry point when it comes to Palantir. This is a long-term hold for me. I think it's going to be way more valuable in the future than it is today. So personally, what I do is I keep an eye on the price. I ask myself why it's moving either way. I keep dollar cost averaging and then I hold some back in cash for when there is an opportunity presented.
I think they got in front of the AI wave better than others. Clearly, AI is really an infrastructure. If you look at what's happening with NVIDIA and all the other names, it really hasn't come to the software layer. Palantir is bucking that trend. They have seen great momentum in their suite.
Palantir are ahead in the AI software space. Couldn't agree more with that. They are leading this commercially and on the government side as well. He was then asked this really interesting question about Palantir's position with all the geopolitical issues that we're seeing and how much of that actually plays into the thesis of Palantir. Let's hear what he had to say about that.
I think that the challenge for investors on the government business is, one, it's hard to really talk to the CIA or whoever has the software to really actually see what it's doing and does it work, right? So what we've said to investors is the government business is really difficult to analyze because it's hard to talk to most of those governments. They don't want to talk to anyone about how they're using it. It's very secretive. So you effectively cannot predict what happens in the government business.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there. He says a lot, but in the interest of time, he basically comes down to this statement of the government business is really hard to value. Yes, it is harder to value. He's absolutely right. And that is because there's way more visibility that we have as shareholders Wall Street analysts or retail investors, we have more visibility on the commercial side. It's more publicized. A lot of the government contracts are a little bit hidden, and they need to be for that exact reason. They're on the government side. And he's right. You can't just walk up to the CIA and ask them how Palantir are doing and what deals they've got with Palantir. But I think there's something important missing here, and that is that you can do other things that allow you to then see the value of the government side very clearly. Number one, you can just understand the technologies and the capabilities of Palantir's solutions to the best of your ability. And you can study the examples that we do have on the government side. Number two, you can look at commercial use cases. You can see how AIP and all the other platforms are working in the commercial space, and you can draw common themes that can then be utilized and portrayed into the government sector. And you can also track the government and defense contracts and renewals that are made public. If we keep seeing renewals and we keep seeing more contracts, this wouldn't be happening if Palantir weren't offering really, really valuable solutions. Government organizations wouldn't keep throwing money at Palantir if it simply wasn't that good. So yes, we might not have complete visibility, but I do think we have enough to value the government side very well. Do let me know what you think about Palantir's government side compared to their commercial side in the comments below. If you want to watch these episodes ad-free, get exclusive and extended content and a bunch of other perks, become an insider of the Inner Circle Vault. Link in the description.